What is going on, guys? It is me, D63Blockay. I'm back with another video. This one's more of a weird rant video, and hi again, I'm back. Long story. I'm starting that thing now because it's just a really long story. Don't want to get into it. Anyway, we're resetting. I'm coming back focused. I started that at a terrible time, the time thing. So now that we're here, I'm ready to go. And by the way, I'm figuring out the mic setup because I'm debating using this pop filter, but it looks terrible on camera. Which, by the way, hi. It looks terrible on camera, so I was debating just not using it because also I can move it forward a lot more, but I'm not sure what the sound difference is in this, so I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. But for now I am gonna use it because it definitely prevents the pops that I don't want. So anyway, in the background, this is from gameplay only because I didn't want to record Civ gameplay and waste my storage space on it. But this is just a really random rant video, and I wanted to talk about the mess ups and I think the mistakes that they made when they selected each leader for the nations, because there's a few. And I'm doing this completely off the top of my head, so if I mess this up or do anything wrong, or I don't know, just pause for a second. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so alright, so number one, I think they really messed up, or I guess I should title it. I'm going to title this video Who Should Have Been in Civ 6, because they definitely messed up some of the leaders. Like, some of the leader choices for countries were very, very bad. But anyway, let's get into this. Before, I had a very old clip. That was like a month-old long clip of me saying the subscriber board, and I know it hasn't changed since, but anyway, subscriber board's still a thing. We're going to be doing all that. Like I said before, it's the same thing. Just caught me at a bad time, so, yeah. Anyway. So the first one I wanted to talk about is France, and I'm going to take a sip of my coffee before. And the reason I wanted to talk about France is because France has Catherine Medici, which is very, very wrong. Historically speaking, it is completely wrong. If you want to get technical, the most historically great leader of France is Napoleon, and I know Napoleon was in Civilization Revolution for the consoles, and I'm honestly not sure. He probably was in Civ 5, but anyway, that's who I'd replace her with, because Napoleon did a lot more for the country than Catherine Medici. And like I said, this is more of a historical rant video, but Napoleon is the greatest general of all time, and arguably the greatest war tactician of all time. He has the most recorded battles won in history. I think it's like 58 or something like that, and believe me, 58 is a lot compared to some of the most famous leaders in the world. You can go look up a video that lists them all, and it is actually outstanding. It's really crazy, the number of battles that some of them won, and yeah, he's number one on that list, so automatically he should be the one in the game. I know you kind of want variety sometimes, but I really liked Napoleon in Civ Rev, and I do think he should have been there instead of Medici, but whatever. So that's my number one, and I guess I could title this Civ 7 what civs I want to see in Civ 7. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Or what leaders, at least. I'm thinking on the fly here. Okay, so on to the next one. So the first one, I'd like to see Napoleon replace Catherine, because it only makes sense. Number two, absolute screw up that they decided to do was put Cleopatra, and they've done this several times, so I'm not going to... I know they've done this before. Put Cleopatra in instead of one of the pharaohs that did more. Historically speaking, she did absolutely nothing for the country. I would argue that Cleopatra is debatably one of the most overrated rulers in history. And it's kind of a weird decision to put her in consistently too. Like, I understand, like, again, variety, you want to change it up sometimes, but putting her in several years as the Egyptian ruler, I think except for Civ 5, which actually got it correct, is a little weird. That's a little weird to me. But anyway, what they should have done is they should have put Ramses II, because Ramses is the greatest pharaoh of all time. You can go look up the historical information on this. He's no doubt the greatest pharaoh of all time. Not the most famous pharaoh of all time, but no doubt the most greatest pharaoh of all time. And that is such a disrespect. I know they had him in Civ 5, which was great because it made sense, but having Cleopatra there is more of a disrespect to the entire Civ, considering she was a key cog in the downfall of Egypt. So yeah, I wouldn't put her in the game. Anyway, on to the next one. Let's see. Again, thinking on the fly here. So we have Egypt, and we have France. There's a few more that I wanted to get into. Like, I disagree with China, but you could honestly do anything for China. There's a lot of great histories as an ad pops up on this YouTube video. There's a lot of good leaders for China that I think could have been there instead, but that's fine. He works fine. America needs to be replaced because Teddy Roosevelt is not even close to being one of the greatest presidents of all time. Like, he's a good president. Some would say a great president, but he is not one of the greatest presidents of all time. Previously, Civilization games have had George Washington and Abe Lincoln, which would be my picks, because they're the most well-known, arguably, and they just make sense. I think George Washington makes a lot of sense just because, you know, he's a founding father, but I don't think Teddy Roosevelt should be necessarily in this, just because the only thing he really did was nature. He just improved nature and made national parks and stuff like that. So I don't know why they decided to put him in the game. Anyway, so I'd switch him with either Abe Lincoln or George Washington. My next one is Germany, and it seems like they always screw this up. Barbarossa was good, but I like Frederick's good, but he's definitely not Germany's greatest leader. I like Bismarck more, and I believe they've had Bismarck in Civilization Revolution. Man, I'm just listing off these Civ Rev leaders, but anyway, I believe Otto von Bismarck was the Civ Rev leader for Germany, and I agree with it, because if you don't want to do some very weird, questionable leaders for Germany, like, just don't put in Frederick. Frederick did good things for the country, but I would argue that Otto von Bismarck did more. He's probably Germany's most famous ruler of all time, or I guess greatest ruler of all time. But that's also debating if you want to get in the Holy Roman Empire. But yeah, I'd swap Frederick for Otto, because Otto, in my opinion, is cooler. Russia also needs to be replaced. Peter's good, but there's many Tsars that are much better than Peter. Even though later Tsars, you could do like a Tsar from even the later time periods of Russia, and they'd probably be better than Peter. Peter was good, but I would disagree with putting him in the game. I don't think he's that historically good. Let me think. I'd probably replace him with probably one of the Nicholases, because it makes sense. You could go further back in time too if you wanted to, but one of the Nicholases would probably fit a little bit better. Man, this is already a 10-minute video. I get on historical rants. Anyway, actually, I think I'll end it after this next one. The last one is Pericles for Greece, because I believe he's Greece. Like, why Pericles? I know Pericles is great, but why would you ever put Pericles as the leader of Greece? There's so many historically great leaders for that country and nation, but why would you put Pericles? I just, that's like, I don't know. It just, some of these were really questionable to me. Yeah, some of them were really weird, but I don't know. I would replace Pericles as well, just because. And my next video will probably be a video on what civs should be a thing, like new civs. I'll probably do that. And this is just a random video again, because I wanted to get back into this and mess around with my setup too. The next video will probably be without the pop filter, so expect that. But I just want to get this video out, and it's a bit of a rant video. With absolutely no script and no care in the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really weird rant video. Please like and subscribe. You'll be on the subscriber board for the week. Or actually, I guess it's all time, but you'll be shown on the subscriber board every week. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.